Hello, everybody, and welcome to Crystal Coaching Connections. Happy Friday. This is episode 3 of my video podcast, and I'm super, super excited because it's going super well, and people are really enjoying the content. The goal of this show is to really bring together wellness as an integrative practice to fully explore our well-being like a wheel. Wheels have spokes. There's multiple different alignments when it comes to our health and wellness. And so I want to really bring together not only and gather the information to pass it on to you, but also to gather professionals like my friend here, Andrea, to be able to talk to us about their specific business and how they help their clients and why they do what they do. So for those of you who don't know me yet, you will definitely get to know me. I'm Crystal. I'm an integrative health and wellness coach, and I'm also a certified natural therapist. I specialize in helping men and women overcome stress and help them to navigate and overcome that stress and burnout, to be able to reclaim that confidence again and overall stress less. Essentially, I'm your guide to finding that realignment. Today, I have my friend Andrea. So thank you so much for coming, Andrea. Andrea is a body confidence coach, and I had the pleasure of meeting her when we both joined a mastermind with our coach, Sarah Hagstrom, who is AKA thebomb.com. We quickly became friends through this program, and I really wanted to give Andrea an opportunity to come on the show because I really love what she stands for. She is a woman that is helping women overcome their battle with their body images and healing their relationships, not only with their bodies, but with the food, and really ditching that diet culture to relearn how to trust their body and their intuition. So I am going to hand it over to Andrea because I'm pretty sure that she could do a better job describing what she does than I just did.
No, thank you. Thanks for having me on. I'm excited to be here with you today.
Yeah.
And I mean, you nailed it. I just really want to help other women who have struggled with feeling, like they're not enough or that their bodies need to look a certain way. And they're constantly on that diet roller coaster, to really put that behind them, really learn how to tune into their bodies, trust their bodies. I help them learn how to become intuitive eaters. And there's a lot of mindset work that goes into it too. So a lot of times when we're talking about intuitive eating, I think, some people might not even know what that is, or maybe they've kind of heard of it, but they...
For 1 second, intuitive eating, because you said it like twice already. And I am positive that, like you just said, there's a lot of people that don't understand what intuitive eating. I myself am pretty ignorant on that fact. So can you tell me a little bit more about what intuitive eating is for you and your clients?
Yeah, absolutely. But I will just preface it by saying that I feel like intuitive eating is sort of the vehicle that takes you to healing your relationship with food. But the healing your relationship with your body is more of the mindset work, more of the overcoming limiting beliefs, creating empowering beliefs. So I really feel like there's kind of 2 parts of it. And for me personally, and the way that I teach it to my clients is that the intuitive eating is the vehicle that heals your relationship with food. There is some mindset work and some stuff that also can contribute to how you feel in your body. But for me, the mindset stuff is really more important for that piece of it. But basically, I mean, to give you a broad overview of what intuitive eating really is it's basically just an anti-diet approach to health and wellness. So, we believe very strongly that diet culture and diet mentality is the problem with so many women, is that we're forced all of this information about what diet you should be on, what food items or groups you should cut out of your diet, restrict this, only eat at certain times, only eat 1,200 calories, all of that stuff that we're kind of like, oh my gosh, okay, well, I'm eating too much, or I'm eating too frequently. And it's all about external cues and external, like, this is what you should be doing, versus with intuitive eating, we're saying screw all of that, and like turning in internally and saying, is my body biologically hungry right now? We have biological cues that we were designed to know when we're hungry, when we're getting full. And so learning to tune into those, rejecting this diet mentality. And I think it's important to note that nutrition, it does play a really key role in intuitive eating, but you'll see kind of out there, and most likely from people who are promoting some kind of diet, that intuitive eating doesn't take health into consideration. But it does, it absolutely does. And not just your nutrition, but also your mental health. And that's the biggest part is diet mentality is just so hard on our mental health. So I feel it's more of a holistic approach, which is kind of like what you and I are all about, and just really learning to trust our bodies.
I would say that it is 100% it is 100% a holistic approach, and I really love the ditching the diet culture, because we see so often. I mean, we both went to the same school, right? We studied over 100 different dietary theories, and exactly that's what they are. They're theories, and some will work for some people, some will not work for anybody. I mean, we can go. I mean, I did Atkins at one point in my life, and I thought I felt great through while I was doing it, right? And then once I was off it, let me tell you, my whole metabolism was shot to shit. And that just goes to show that my body wasn't made to be. It responded to it, but it was actually not made for it to be doing that. And the intuitive part about it, I teach that a lot. I teach intuition a lot with my program, right? When we talk about stress and anxiety and learning how to really tune into your own inner intuition. And so I love that you bring that aspect to intuitively eating and intuitively knowing what your body is doing when it comes to food. I want to target on a body image. I know that you have a program called Body, like your actual program is tailored around a specific acronym, but I want to talk about body image, because the diet culture does a lot to bring us into that body image area. And I would not say that. Actually, no, that's not true. I would definitely say that I have probably a version of body dysmorphia, the same like almost every woman out there, young girl, teenage, it doesn't matter who you are. I think that the things that we see online, we don't understand that they're not necessarily true. And I didn't think that at like 35 years old that I would be caught up in that world. And I ended up 5 years ago caught up in that world, thinking about diets, trying to get skinny, not loving my body. And so talk to me how you navigate that, with your clients, the body love and the acceptance, and it's okay to actually continue to work out and make yourself feel good, but it's not about not loving yourself where you're at.
Yeah. So many pieces to that puzzle, but the first thing is that so when the goal feels unachievable, that's when we start to kind of give up and feel discouraged and go back to dieting because this isn't working. So the goal is not to say, I love every single part of my body. I love everything about my body and everything about the way I look, because like we're all human and we all have, imperfections, or maybe there's things that we don't love about our bodies, but that doesn't mean we can't respect our bodies and accept them the way that they are, because this is the body I was given. That's the body you were given.
Yeah.
And no matter how much like starving, working out, restriction, or whatever that we do, the reason it's not sustainable is because our bodies are meant to be at a set weight. And so if we're like basically starving ourselves and excessively exercising to be thin, but your body doesn't want to be that thin, like you're going to gain the weight. And it's just a whole vicious cycle of messing with your metabolism and back and forth. But so that's the first thing, is just, we don't have to love every single thing about ourselves to accept and respect our bodies. The second big thing is triggers. So, especially with social media these days, if you're following a bunch of fitness models, bikini models, bachelorette stars, whoever, like all the women that have the thin ideal body that our culture says is how we should all look. For me, that was super triggering. It would instantly make me feel I'm not thin enough. They wouldn't eat a pizza for dinner last night. I didn't work out today. And, all those thoughts that are shaming and triggering.
Yeah.
So if you're following people, whether it's on social, whether it's buying trash magazines or whatever it is, that's not going to help you with your body image, with your self-worth. So unfollow any accounts that are triggering. That's huge.
I just have to say that like, I love how it's crazy because what you do and what I do are so very different, but what you do and I do are so very similar. Like I talk a lot with my clients about the things that they say in their mouths and they say in their heads about who they are and what they do, about how the more you focus on the negative things, obviously those are the only things that you're going to see. And so it's the same thing for you. If you're surrounded by the visual stimuli that is always the same, like you're watching those quote unquote perfect people, with their filters and their posing. It's funny, I actually changed everything. I removed all of the people that I was following, and I started to incorporate people who, yes, they were in fitness and lifestyle, but they were also real human beings showing that they have roles, things move, things jiggle. Some of them have stretch marks, and they look phenomenal. They might have abs under a layer of not so much wanted skin, and that's okay. They don't want they don't want it, but they're embracing it, they're loving it, and that's what their bodies created for them. So I love that.
Yeah, and I think that's a great point that you bring up, that you can't judge somebody's health by the way that their body looks.
No.
So that's a perfect example of like health and fitness, whatever, influencers or coaches or whoever they might be that aren't as thin as the cultural ideal, but they're healthy, they're metabolically healthy, they exercise, they eat nutritious foods, they also enjoy other foods that maybe aren't as nutritious. It's this really just not restricting what you can and can't have, listening to your body and being completely healthy. And so that's a huge, misconception, is that if you have any added weight on your body, you're not healthy.
You posted something the other day about the tabloid magazines.
Yes.
That was super, I know that triggered me when I saw it. I made a comment, but can you tell me a little bit about like what we're seeing?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's interesting that those tabloid magazines are still targeting mostly celebrities' bodies because of how much like body positivity and, what's the word, attention that this movement is kind of getting. But they're still going after, women's bodies and shaming them for how they look. So, for example, it was a picture of Padma, who's 50, walking casually down the beach in a bikini, looking great. And it said, Padma at 50, looking fab. And then there was a picture of Kate Hudson. And I don't know how old she is, but she's got to be probably 45 or 50 by now.
Kate Hudson is probably around 42, 43 years old or something like that. She just had 3 kids, I think, in like her later years.
Okay, yeah. Well, so however old she is, it doesn't really matter. But the picture of her was kite surfing. And it said, suck in your gut, Kate. And it's like, okay, first of all, she looks freaking bomb. Like, there's nothing wrong with her body. Literally, like, it's all about like angle and perspective. And they just like, God forbid you don't suck in your gut for 1 second and someone catches a picture of you enjoying your life, and that's what's so triggering for so many people. And also what's keeping so many women in fear of them being the ones who get snapped a picture of with their belly hanging out, not sucking in. Not to mention sucking in all the time is so bad for our digestion, for our breathing, for like everything. And we're all taught to like suck it in all the time,
I actually learned that when I started my yoga practice about 10 years ago. And I've been to a lot of yoga schools, and none of them had taught me about the release of your stomach.
Yeah.
So when we're breathing, we need to really release our bellies and almost push them out to give room
Mm,
and oxygen to oxygenate all of the organs that are inside of our bodies. Like, really, if we're not
yeah.
doing that, we're not getting oxygen there, which means
Yeah.
we're cutting off a supply. We're cutting off a lifeline to our body.
Yeah. And I think this is an interesting correlation because I have always had neck problems and like really tight shoulders, and like I still do right now. I'm a mess, but I relate it to like being 32 years of sucking in all the time, never letting my gut go out, and breathing through my chest and raising my shoulders when I breathe
Yeah.
instead of breathing through my stomach. And so I've really been working on like, I'll like hold my shoulders and then I'll put a hand on my stomach and focus on like this hand not moving and this hand moving so that I'm breathing properly.
You're going to want to watch one of my episodes because I'm having my friend and breath worker,
Oh
and
yeah.
core belief engineer, on my show. Probably, I think it's, is it the first week of March or the last week of February? But I think that you would probably really love that because the way
Hmm.
that she teaches it, and I'll send you her link for her. Like, she does
Yeah.
actual sessions, like 2 hour breathwork sessions via Zoom, and the energy is amazing. But you're 100% right. Like, we're not honoring our bodies when we are forcing them into a space that it doesn't belong. I get it. When you're working out, hold in the abs because we're going to be focusing on that muscle. Like, when you're doing a bicep curl, you're going to target that muscle with your brain,
Right.
right? Same thing with the abs. You don't need to do that 24/7.
Yeah.
So I I know we've digressed a little bit, but this is an amazing conversation, and I really appreciate the free flow of it because it's very inspiring to have conversations with like this. I think that our viewers are definitely going to enjoy it. Can you tell me a little bit about the body image program? I love how you built it out. I love how you've created it, and I think that it's definitely something worth sharing.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So, when I was coming up with it, I wanted it to be, again, going back to like, I don't think intuitive eating is clear to a lot of people. So I didn't want to just say, oh, like I have this intuitive eating program. I wanted it to be more about like our body image and learning how to develop a positive body image, and all of the inner work that needs to be done, in addition to the intuitive eating. So um, I created the body image method, and image is an acronym for 5 pillars that I implement into my 12-week program. So I, standing for intuition, obviously we've touched on that and how super important that is. Um, M is for movement. So you kind of mentioned that at the beginning, and that is a key component of intuitive eating is learning how to move your body in ways that feel good. And for me personally, this was something that I had to relearn because for me, exercise was always punishment for something I ate or planning ahead for something I was gonna eat. I hated going to the gym. I went to the gym 5, 6 days a week, but
And
I
you only
hated
did
it.
it because you were pushing yourself over the
Yeah,
brink of.
because I needed to be the thin ideal, and God forbid didn't work out or I ate something. And so I had a really negative relationship with movement. And so this to me is really important. I think a lot of women do. And sometimes we don't even realize that we have a negative. We just think we're being really healthy and we're doing what's best for ourselves because we're going to the gym and we're pushing an hour workout. And that was the other thing I would like, if you didn't go to the gym for an hour, it didn't count. Like now I don't even hardly ever work out for an hour. Like I love Melissa Wood Health workouts. They're like 20 minutes, sometimes 30, sometimes 10. And just getting any kind of movement in that like gets your endorphins going, makes you feel good, um, gives you those, all those feel good
All
feelings. So
those beautiful comforts inside. I feel you there because I used to go to the gym and I used to be like, oh, I have to go on the treadmill because my body needs cardio because I
yeah.
my body does need to sweat. That's just part of who I am. Like, I
Hmm.
do not, I don't feel good if I'm not sweating. So
Yeah.
doing weights and stuff like that, I never really worked up a sweat, so I never felt it, right? But I hated doing cardio. And so I struggled for a really long time figuring out that like what was going to be right for me, and dancing and boxing for me, those are my two babies, right?
So
Like,
fun. Yeah.
without them, you know, and then I mean, I teach the classes as well, but like even yoga, right? But I had that same relationship. Like I'd have to go to the gym and then I think, okay, well, this is kind of a cheat meal. Also, I don't know about you. I refuse to put that in my vocabulary. There is no such thing
Absolutely.
as a cheat. It is a treat. It is a treat. Whatever it is, like, and it's not a cheat meal, cheat day, treat day. No, it's for me, I think that this is the way that you work as well. Like,
Yeah. No, if
boy,
we 100%, you have to take that, you have to change your vocabulary around food. And there's no
I
good,
got
there's no
somebody on here
bad.
that said, I love boxing too. Yeah, let's get up. Let's go.
Yeah. Gosh, I haven't done boxing in I don't even know
Oh,
how
I
long.
fell in love. I can't even tell you. Like it changed my life. Changed my life 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's awesome. So
Yeah. All
fun.
right. Back to what you were saying. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I kind of forgot what I was saying, but
We were
anyway,
talking about. Too bad we can't
movement.
rewind.
I know. That's okay. I think I made my point. Oh, vocabulary, changing
Oh
your
yes.
vocabulary around food. And so, yes, I agree. Like, if we continue to say, oh, it's a cheat day, I can eat whatever I want, that keeps the mentality in our heads that we have to eat super good the rest of the time and only eat the forbidden foods, on cheat days. And it keeps you in that restriction and then almost binge cycle, because what tends to happen is if you're restricting, it's cheat day, you're going to like overeat on the food because it's your only time you're going to get it in. So it's much healthier in the long run if you just take that vocabulary away, kind of change your mindset, and know that, like, if it's a Monday and you want to eat a burger and fries for dinner,
Do it.
then go for it, and then if tomorrow night maybe you want a piece of grilled salmon with broccoli, and that's really like what it comes down to, and listening to your body, like honoring what your body is really craving.
I totally love
So
it.
yeah. So getting back to body image, so the A stands for awareness.
Okay.
And there's so many aspects that go into that, but really focusing on being mindful, like you teach your clients, mindful of your thoughts, and mindful during your eating experience, because so many of us are distracted all the time. We've got our phones, we're shoveling food in, we're at our desk, we're eating, we're driving, we're eating fast food, we're eating dinner in front of the TV. I'm guilty of that. My husband and I always eat dinner in front of the TV.
Well, wait till you have kids. That might change. I still do it. We've been married for 20. We'll be together for 21 years, and we'll still eat in bed in front of the TV.
Yeah.
Pasta
Yeah.
with
I mean,
pictures.
and I think when you're learning this, like when you're starting your intuitive eating journey and you're new to all of this, I think it's really important to take those distractions away.
Yeah.
But I've learned now, like, I can still monitor my fullness while I'm watching Blacklist. Like, but it is important when you're learning. So just being really mindful.
Awareness. It's a conscious awareness that you just did.
Yeah.
You know that it is potentially something that is going to, make you overeat because you're not paying attention to what you're doing.
Right.
So therefore, you bring that conscious awareness back to yourself. And you're
Right.
like, okay, so I'm going to do this while I'm watching TV, but I'm going to know,
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah. And being mindful of the fact that, a lot of us were raised with the eat everything on your plate. You can't get it from the dinner table. And that's so, like, if you want to raise a little intuitive eater, you don't do that. Like, you don't tell them they have to eat everything on their plate, because that's just training them to think, well, I have to eat everything on my plate. And that's just not true. I mean, you could put smaller portions on your plate and then go back for more if you're still hungry. That's one thing you could do. Or you can just know that, okay, I've got this much food still on my plate and I'm full. I can't finish it. And before
I'll bring it home, or I'll package it up, I'll eat it tomorrow, whatever it is, right? Like,
have it for lunch. Or
it's crazy that I didn't have. My mom was a big purporter of that, but that's also because her mother was a big purporter of that. You eat everything that's on your plate, and coming from an Italian family.
Oh God, yeah. Trust me, my husband's Sicilian, so
Overeaters Anonymous, let me tell you.
Yeah,
and
totally.
that your body changes when you get older too. You can't metabolize the same way. So you're definitely, if you keep eating the same way you did when you were a kid, as an adult, chances are you might have some issues later on. But yeah, like that, I really love that you said that, because that's something as an adult I have forced myself to change that mentality, because I've always loved food.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew when to stop eating food.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would put
And
it
I
in
think
food,
that's
like
so,
eat, and I love the taste of it. And I'm just like, I
yeah.
gotta keep going. So I've had
Yeah.
to learn that.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's hard for a lot of people. And I can totally relate to that, because prior to really, and it's interesting too, because it's like when I was more uber focused on my body and constantly thinking about how this food would change my body. I mean, I would literally eat 5 bites, lift up my shirt, and look at my stomach.
Oh my
Eat five,
God.
like it was obsessive and it was really bad. But I would eat everything because that's what I was taught. And it's like, I don't know how to like put the right word on it, but it's that mentality of like, get it in while you can and eat everything on your plate, even if you're past the point of comfort. And so that's been huge for me, because now I can monitor, be aware of how full I am. And sometimes I eat everything on my plate because maybe I'm extra hungry, or like sometimes I can only get halfway through it. And I'm just like, my husband's like, are you going to eat that? I'm like, no, go for it. Like I'm done. So yeah, it's just, it can be scary. It's hard to like relearn how to really listen to your body. Especially if you're on, like, my mom was doing the Nutra system diet, where your portions are so small. Like you eat and that's all you get, but you're still hungry, and it's just, so it's hard when you get off of a diet like that and then you have food on your plate. Well, how much am I supposed to eat?
How much
And
so regulating, like,
yeah,
how can you sustain that?
yeah.
Yeah,
So
no, those I find a little bit, but yeah, because I mean, I love that you do like Melissa Wood's Health. I've only ever like from a doing those like workouts and stuff like that online. I'm familiar with the Beachbody workouts. I love the workouts. Not so big of a fan of the actual products and the way that the again, because it's again the containers, like you're only allowed. It's very restrictive, right? And it is another version of a diet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
So yeah.
And even just the term Beachbody kind of is triggering for a lot of people.
Yeah, actually that's 100%, 100% true.
Yeah. So,
Back to your body image. So where do we go
So
from here?
moving on. G is for gratitude. Gratitude is just for whatever area of your life. Gratitude is so key. Being grateful and thankful and appreciating what we already have just brings us more joy, brings us more abundance. And a lot of times, again, kind of going back to like what triggers us, constantly comparing our bodies to someone else's instead of being grateful for what our body does, our health, the fact that we have 10 fingers and 10 toes, legs that take us places, arms to hug people, eyes to see the beautiful, world, and just really like breaking it down to the very basics of like, I have all 5 senses, or I can walk, and things like that. Really expressing gratitude for our bodies, and in all areas of your life, but specifically when you're trying to really accept your body, I like to focus on gratitude for your body.
I really love that. Something just popped into my head, and it was actually something that I heard the other day, and I don't know if it was you that was saying. It's highly possible that it was you, because I follow you on Instagram. So I feel so skinny. The feeling versus the
it was fat. Fat is not a feeling.
Yeah, exactly. Fat is not a feeling, right? Like, so you have to like, even I feel so skinny, it's still, skinny is not a feeling.
Yeah, which is hard. I mean, because when you're in body dysmorphia and you're in like disordered eating and thoughts, I mean, I can't tell you, I have said in my lifetime, I'd be a billionaire if I had a penny for every time I said I feel fat,
Yeah.
But learning that that's actually not a feeling, like what are the deeper feelings? Why am I feeling fat? Why do I think I need to look like someone else to be happy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. And then the last one, E, stands for empowerment. So really just kind of encompassing all of the aspects of intuition, movement, awareness, gratitude, and finally like feeling that empowerment of having confidence in your body, knowing your self-worth, knowing that you are worthy of love, exactly as you are, that you don't need to change or shrink your body. And yeah, just that
Wow.
overall feeling.
I absolutely love the way that you've outlined your program. It totally makes sense to me. And honestly, I'm really glad to see more and more people like you, especially you. I mean, I adore you. Like having had the opportunity to like meet you in the program and really connect with you and learn about more about your story. And so like we didn't really go into your story too much today. We touched bits and pieces, right? But you know, there's a reason why we do what we do. How do you what what brings you passion in this business? What has driven you to be where you are today?
Um, really, it comes down to the years and years and decades that I struggled with this, missing out on so much of life. Like, just, I mean, so many um, moments and experiences that I can remember. Like, I should be enjoying myself, but instead, I'm over here thinking I look fat or worried someone's going to judge me for
Mm.
not having the perfect body, you know? And I think actually something that is an interesting thing to bring up is that when you have a certain body type and you grow up, so I've always been thin. I've been tall and thin, and even so, I struggled with bulimia, disordered
Wow.
eating thoughts, and body dysmorphia, because again, it's the constant messaging of like, well, you need to stay this way, you need to look like this, you need to. And so you know, I grew up with people saying, oh, you're so tall, you're so beautiful, your legs are so long, and you know, and that's great, like thank you for the compliment, but the problem with that is that we're being validated
Our
on our looks, and it places all of our worth in our looks, and that's terrifying to lose. So when you think your only value comes from how your body looks, this is like making me emotional. It just makes it like so difficult for you to move past like letting go of,
yeah.
it's okay to not be perfect, it's okay to, you know, whatever your body
Tie
is, it's okay.
yourself, not tell your self-worth into how you look.
Yeah,
Because a
exactly.
lot of us do that. And you know, we do that a lot with women,
Yeah.
with little girls. Oh, you're
Yeah.
so beautiful. Oh, you're so,
Yes.
like we don't even realize that we're doing it when we do it. And even as
Mhm.
a woman, I catch myself doing it to other women.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that there's definitely still a lot of work to be done, not only internally but externally as well. And I'm
Mhm.
really, really glad to have you in my crew
Yeah.
of amazing, beautiful people that I can refer clients to. You know, so if you are struggling with body image, you know, that's not my it's not my strength. That's not my shtick. I want to make sure that I have people like you, Andrea, in my network, that I'm capable of referring clients to, because we are at a point right now. We're at a turning point in. I mean, 2020 has been big. It's been big for so many movements. Black Lives Matter movement. You know, even politics. Everything that we went through in this last year, it's been resounding for change. Mental
Yeah.
health, you know, it has to continue to be the forefront of what we're doing. And you know what you're doing is amazing. We have to keep this momentum going, for our overall health and wellness, and for that beautiful little girl that you're gonna have coming this way.
I know. Yeah. So
That's out of the
that's a
bag.
lot. It's
Having a baby
very,
girl.
yes. I was very excited to find out I'm having a girl. And, um, you know, I'm just very happy and thankful that I have started this work, and hopefully can, you know, I mean, obviously I can't control everything that my daughter's going to see and bear witness to and be exposed to, but I can do my best at home to, you know, talk positively about myself. And then, like we were saying, you know, not just compliment her on, oh, you're so cute. Oh, you're so beautiful. You know, that's going to be hard because I bet she's going to be pretty darn cute. And that's
You're gonna
okay.
be
It's not like you're not
smart.
allowed to
You're
ever
gonna be
tell someone that they're
strong.
Yeah,
Smart, she's
exactly.
going to be strong, she's going to be beautiful, but she's not going to be tied to any one of those because her self-worth is going to be innate. It's going to be something that she's going to be able to create for herself.
Yeah.
Oh, this is
So
beautiful. Any final thoughts, or where we can find you? Obviously on Instagram, so it's Coach Andrea M
yes.
on Instagram, and
Yes,
on
it
Facebook.
is. Yes. Well, Facebook, Andrea Mancino, because I don't know why I've like literally never been able to figure out how to. It's like someone else has Coach Andrea M as their
Oh no.
username, even though I don't think that's true. But anyway, doesn't matter.
I'll make
Yeah,
sure to
and
tag you in this, so if people have any questions to directly reach out, I fully welcome it. I think that this is a beautiful thing that you're doing.
well, thank you. And yeah, just so grateful for meeting you and our friendship and for being on here today with you. And I hope that it was helpful for your followers.
I think it is. We're getting lots of thumbs up. I've got a lot of people that actually watched today. So, and I'm
Good.
pretty sure that there's going to be a lot of people watching the replay.
Yeah.
Remember, it's going to be on my Facebook, but also if you want anybody who's watching right now, it's going to be posted on my YouTube channel. I will be posting a link to the YouTube channel. So if there are things that you missed, you don't have to go scrolling to the bottom of my Facebook. We got a message over here, valuable lesson. Thank you very much. Today's people love the body freedom and the body confidence, and we just got to keep going with that. So thank you so much, Andrea. I'm so used to the Canadian Andrea.
It's okay.
Thank you so much for being with me today. I really, truly appreciate it. I look forward to seeing your business flourish. If anybody has any questions, you can either reach out to me, I can put you in contact with Andrea, or you could go ahead and reach out to her yourself. Again, thank you so much, everybody, for watching Crystal Coaching Connections. And I hope you guys have a beautiful Friday and a beautiful rest of your weekend.
Thanks, Crystal.
See y'all soon.